May is Mental Health Awareness Month. As you also know, this summer will be the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So, who's better to talk to about mental health and Black men in America than a hip hop megastar? So, we got Jim Jones, who is actually doing some work right now talking about mental health on a new project with I1 Digital called Listen to Black Men. Listen to Black Men is a 7-episode series that is being worked on by Dave East, Papoose, Tyler Chronicles, Jim Jones, hosted by Mouse Jones. Like it's a group of dudes having conversations about fatherhood, dating, mental health, physical health, interracial relationships, all the things that kind of encompass what Black men go through on a day-to-day basis, but the conversations that we don't typically have publicly. Hip hop culture, we love hip hop music. Jim Jones plays a part in that culture. And I think what's important about the culture as well is that there's more facets to who the hip hop generation is than just the music. We are now the generation of therapy, which is nuts because our therapy has always been rooted in something else. Our therapy started being rooted in the church. It went from being rooted in the church to being rooted to sports. It went from being rooted into sports to being rooted into the music. It went from the music. Now we're actually going into the therapy offices. And we're going to a person now. We're saying, walking away from that, these are the tools that can be used to help us deal with the emotions that can typically debilitate someone. It can typically knock someone off track. So instead of having that, we're having conversations. And Jim Jones is the next part of that conversation. So without further ado, the homie.
What's up? This is your boy Jim Jones. You are now tuned into SUAVV Sessions.
From what we think we know about you, you grew up in Harlem.
All right, I started in the Bronx and I spent my later years in Harlem, my high school years in Harlem. Nice. But I always went to school in Harlem. I went to school since elementary school, first to 8th grade.
All right, cool. And you said in the interview that your older brother is the one that got you into working out, like just on the bars outside, like pull-ups and push-ups.
Yeah, I call them my brothers. Yeah, my brothers that went away to school, they used to come home and teach us how to get our weight up. And started with doing pull-ups, push-ups, and dips in the progress.
Yeah, because like I lived in New York for like 6 years, and like pull-up bars and dip bars are like, that's the gym. And if you don't know what you're doing, like you kind of get embarrassed a little bit.
It's very competitive when it comes to it's very competitive when it comes to pull-ups in New York City.
Yeah,
that's one of the go-to workouts. Yeah, a lot of old heads can make you look bad out there. So that is like one of the go-to workouts for New York City. Doesn't cost you no money and it definitely gets you in tremendous shape.
Yeah. So when you start getting older, at what point did you want to take full control of your physical health?
Well, as I get older, I'm more in tune with my physical health, both inside and out. But coming up younger, I always wanted to look good. Always been an athlete since younger, playing basketball and all types of sports and just running through the projects. And that was something that we did since younger, and I just kept it up. I love to look good. I love to stay on top of my game. I got into the rap game. What we're doing, we're selling a lifestyle, and a big part of lifestyle is how you look. So I wanted to make sure I was on top of my game. I got with my lady. When I got with my lady, I was a little bit slim. I didn't want her looking at too many other guys. So I disciplined myself to really get in the gym and beef up and really, get my shit together.
Yeah. So a lot of people would say basically like schedule and, workloads and that kind of thing is the reason why they can't get to the gym. And knowing, your life is pretty busy. did you have to make the time like earlier in the day? Did you just try to find time throughout the day? How did you discipline yourself to get in the gym consistently?
Um, I started making sure that the gym was the first thing I did when I woke up, before I did anything else. Yeah, I live a busy lifestyle, but also my lifestyle doesn't start like everybody else starts. You know what I mean? So, but for the most part, they say you make time in life for what you want. So, if you
Yeah.
want to get in shape, you definitely want to make the time to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So now you have you're doing this new project, Listen to Black Men on I1 Digital. What made you like decide to open up and have that conversation about Black men and mental health?
Mental health is very important inside of the Black community. It's like financial literacy, something that we don't really know too much about, and we don't really have too many outlets to learn about it. So the more people we have, like myself, who are willing to go out there and let it be known that mental health is a big issue inside our community, and we need to figure out the outlets for our people to start getting this help that they need.
Yeah. For you, being in the industry, and like I know hip hop in general is just a very machismo kind of area and arena, where mental health isn't really talked about publicly. I'm not sure what the private conversations are. Was it more challenging to have that conversation and to let that guard down, to let people in on how you feel about even yourself or things that you've dealt with, even though it's still in your music anyway?
Now, I'm an open book. I consider myself a person. I want people to look at and take what you can, and I hope that you take something that you can better yourself. I'm in the public eye, so how much can I hide or hide from? We all have a responsibility. Like, I do believe my responsibility is just being fair to the people, and giving them as much knowledge as I can from being in the standpoint that I'm at. So me opening up, I'm very, I'm vulnerable like anybody else, man. I'm not scared to show some of that when it comes to bettering us as a whole. You know what I mean? I'm not a role model. I ain't no angel. Somebody got to speak up to the people, because there's a lot of things that we need to be hip to. You know.
Yeah, yeah. How do you, going from music into television, um is like it's a different monster because people really feel like they know you, like they have inside view of your life. How do you, then protect your family's mental health and as well as your own when you have a conglomerate of people now, voicing their opinions and judging your lifestyle?
Um, for the most part, what people see on TV is what they see on TV, and what they get on Instagram is just that. That's not a reflection of real life. But there are people that dive so deep into these things that they consume with it, and it feels like it's part of their real life, but it's not for us. It's a business for us. We know how to separate the two when it comes to us being home, and we don't let simple words people may say affect us in so many words and things like that. Yeah, there are a lot of things that people maybe do because people are evil and things like that, but God is with us and God is not going, especially for me and my family and things like that. You got to be smart when you put yourself in those positions. But for the most part, that's not our end all be all. That's not what we're here to do. These are things that we use to better our family, and I mean, pay the bills, and everybody lives good over these business decisions. And we open up a whole lane of business within the reality television. We was one of the first few to do it and things like that. And you look at it now, it's a $1 billion business out there. We
Yeah.
talk about reality TV and things like that. So we started something that was very profitable for a lot of us.
Yeah. One of my last questions, you and like Dipset musically, let me say just musically, music videos, fashion wise, lifestyle wise, you kind of led the culture into a new era. Um, when that was happening, what was that like for you as far as like that transition and that change, and like now you're on this platform doing what you do and the world is responding in that positive way? How has that
And
changed?
the funny thing about it is that you hit that right on the nose. We were instrumental introduction to a new era. But in the same in that same vein, we were only trying to reintroduce our era that we love so much, and that was Harlem, to show people what Harlem was about and where we came from, and that ended up being something
Yeah.
way bigger. You know what I mean? So history repeats itself in that matter. I mean,
Yeah.
even though we were embarking on a whole new, we were just repeating what we loved the whole time.
Yeah. It's because it's crazy. I had when I was in college, I worked a YMCA after school program, and there was a little like young girl, maybe like 8, and I was whistling ballin'. And when I got to the part where you say ballin', she jumps up and goes, ballin'. And it's like this little white girl in the suburbs. So I'm like, the influence is heavy. It's heavy. So even to date, like that's still, you have cult classics, which is dope because a lot of people don't make it there. They
Yeah,
have a dope track
grateful
for a
for that.
summer, but you have cult classics. Um, what do you want to do next? Like, what do you want your legacy to be?
Um, my legacy to be. I've been saying this when people ask me. I want to make sure that they know I gave way more than I took because I got a chance to take a lot. And it seems nowadays the more I give, the more I get, so I can't lose. God is good.
Yeah, yeah, I love that.
I always tell people, prevention is way better than solution. You dig, and if you can't stay motivated and stay consistent, either way, you're gonna get to where you need to be.
I love it, man. Love it. Yo, I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time out. Um, thank you for taking on this initiative. It's important for us to have more conversations about mental health and where we're at emotionally. So, like your vulnerability can definitely tap to a lot of dudes and let them know it's all right to do that.
I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna keep doing my part. Just know that.
Absolutely.